The most dehumanizing, obscene, self-absorbed, and vapid social media platform in recent memory is TikTok. It's a platform targeted at teenagers that encourages underage girls to enjoy burlesque performances in strip clubs so that sex-obsessed teenage boys and actual nefarious people can watch them. Because of this, TikTok acts as a sewer pipe for lewd and disgusting behavior that is aimed right at our gorging mouths. Additionally, TikTok has been able to establish a presence in the minds of young adults of the future thanks to the fact that everyone is trying to get as many views as they can. As Andy Warhol once quipped, everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes. Therefore, the question is, where in the name of all that is holy did this wave for TikTok tide waves even come from? Why did the CEO of Reddit refer to TikTok as being essentially parasitic? What is it about TikTok that is causing governments all over the world to become so concerned? I'm not exaggerating when I say that TikTok is harming society, which is a concerning fact given that TikTok is being downloaded more quickly than YouTube or Instagram, and along with it, there has been an unmatched increase in e-thoughts. The majority of posts on the website appeared to be made by young girls, showing off their bodies or engaging in overt sexual behavior. Take Charli D'Amelio, a 16-year-old girl who only dances to droog-like songs and shakes her ass while wearing skimpy clothes as an example. She has amassed over 100 million followers as a result of doing this, with the majority of them being lonely men. Even worse, the majority of these TikTok celebrities are still in school. But even so, this encourages the guys who are watching to imitate that action and pursue the same dopamine dragon. The design of TikTok then takes advantage of these young underage teenage girls who are attempting to gain internet fame by acting sexy, and it's really disturbing. These individuals have become the new role models for teenage girls as TikTok gains popularity. I mean, is it really a surprise that doctors on TikTok are advising 12-year-olds to receive medical treatment secretly from their parents? This is just one of the factors that recent studies have found. Even in physically active people who exercise frequently, the more of these brief TikTok-style videos you watch, the more depressed you become. Before TikTok, being famous required actual talent. Now, teens' definitions of fame are directly correlated with the tasteless debauchery the algorithm encourages. Talent has given way to vulgarity. The more offensive and intrusive, the better. Young people are increasingly accepting the notion that narcissism, rather than fulfillment, meaning, or authenticity, is the gold standard of satisfaction as a result of TikTok. Given the distorted and damaging viewpoint that TikTok's algorithm feeds to Generation Z, is it really any surprise? That is, however, the least of TikTok's issues. TikTok harms people's neurological systems in addition to being depressing and creepy. Never before have we seen attention spans drop so low. It's been said that many members of Generation Z have attention spans comparable to goldfish. A video drought has stuck me. You understand how it feels. We watched some videos because you had to watch something, and it is preferable to do nothing. Once you've lingered here for too long, you begin to revert to Snapchat and Tinder, but you already know that's not where you belong. So you gave both of these a shot. With their flashy graphics, catchy thumbnails, and other tricks, some videos can trick you into thinking that your time has been stolen. There was no way I was going there. And since my friends and family were always raving about TikTok, I gave in and downloaded it. To get out of the most meaningless and empty videos took me an hour. I squandered a lot of time watching apes, sky shooting, sword shotguns, and narcissists in general. And in my own experience, after watching these videos for hours, I would find it difficult to read a book for longer than 15 minutes without becoming restless. It turns out that TikTok was the catalyst for this despicable behavior, and that the entire generation is now addicted to these dopamine-sucking videos. TikTok manipulates your mind to demand as much instant gratification as it can. Try watching a film from the 1950s, 1960s, or even 1970s after using TikTok if you don't believe me. You'll start to wonder when something will happen in most cases, in my opinion, within minutes. And the reason for this is TikTok's use of social engineering techniques. Intermittent reinforcement is among the techniques TikTok employs that are the most successful. Intermittent reinforcements are most obvious in a casino. In the case of a slot machine, for instance, you don't always win or win the same amounts because, in addition to costing the casino a ton of money, it would also be boring and less exciting to gamble if you always won. We tend to put in less effort when we anticipate receiving something in return for a particular action. We nevertheless have a tendency to repeat the behavior even more enthusiastically when the reward's timing or the certainty that we will receive it at all is unpredictable. Going fishing, for instance, and finally landing that fish feels so much better than simply purchasing something from the store. This is due to the fact that, as humans, we enjoy the joy of a hard-earned reward much more. Because of this, a video on TikTok needs to grab users' attention right away in order to keep them watching the entire thing. It takes a few seconds for the video to grab your attention before you swipe to the next one. And so, after watching countless videos that fall flat, you will finally find the gem that you have been searching for. Unfortunately, our attention spans are only good for about 30 seconds before we are repeatedly hypnotized by the next video. You can watch the first few seconds of hundreds of videos on TikTok, and occasionally you'll find that one that gives you a dopamine rush, thanks to the platform's scrolling functionality. Generation Z's short-term memory and attention span are drastically declining as a result of this. Because of this, TikTok acts as an opioid for the general public, impairing our moral and physical integrity in exchange for a satisfying dopamine high. And who is more adept at manipulating people than the Chinese government, one of TikTok's largest investors? Unsurprisingly, Chinese officials, who have been using credit scores funded by Silicon Valley to regulate their populace, dominate TikTok's highest ranks. The Pentagon classified TikTok as a cyber threat for a variety of reasons, this being just one of them. However, TikTok's role in turning us into mindless goldfish consumers is just one part of the TikTok cancer. Because as you grow dependent on the app, you fail to read TikTok's privacy page, which openly admits to gathering as much data as possible, including metadata, GPS location, and all of your contacts' information from Facebook, Instagram, and your phone. Even worse, TikTok was discovered to be watching what users typed, even when they're typing on different apps. Where does all of this data go then? To the Chinese government. TikTok is required by the law to give the Chinese government all the information it has on its users. Because of this, TikTok collects a lot more user information and data than other social networks. However, given that the app has been downloaded 165 million times in the US, it might already be too late for that to matter. Because if each of these downloads is distinct, the Chinese government already has access to the most private information of over 50% of American citizens. Due to the fact that you, the user, are the product, we already know that websites like Facebook and Google are free. Even so, TikTok collects far more data than Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter combined, and despite those platforms' efforts to conceal their activities like TikTok, they simply cannot be compared. Because allowing your profile to be used to serve up relevant ads is very different from supporting a real-life dictatorship that is committing untold numbers of atrocities. Exactly for these reasons, the CEO of Reddit asserted that TikTok was parasitic. According to the CEO, the fact that it's always listening and the fingerprinting technology they use is truly terrifying, and I could not bring myself to install that, on my phone. He continued, I actively tell people don't install that spyware on your phone, but on the other hand, perhaps it is worthwhile for the high-caliber TikTokers to send your biometric data back to the authoritarian regime. For promoting an app that is literally made to give your data to a nation that openly wants to take over the world, is that fleeting rush of narcissistic fulfillment really worth it? The psychological changes that TikTok is bringing about in Generation Z are truly remarkable. So perhaps it is true, and TikTok deserves some credit. It almost seems as though China is trying to spread its propaganda to the entire world through TikTok. The imprisonment of more than 1 million Uyghur people, the corruption of high-ranking party officials, pro-Taiwan, pro-Hong Kong, and pro-Tibet movements, all of it is censored. This would help to explain why researchers have grown concerned that app could prove to be one of China's most effective weapons in the global information war, bringing Chinese-style censorship to mainstream US audiences and influencing how they understand real-world events. Everything that comes from news sources must conform to the view of the world that China wants people to have. The reason for this is that China has realized that the president is chosen by those who control the algorithms used by social media platforms. What could a brutally dystopian communist regime possibly do if social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter had such a significant impact on politics? It is conceivable, as the analyst Ben Thompson noted, that TikTok's algorithm could be altered almost covertly to favor videos that could advance China's political objectives. For instance, TikTok could subtly display 2% more pro-Biden than users would typically see, and 1 million of these small nudges could tip the scale in Beijing's favor. This is why China has been spending a lot of money on a campaign of paid content creation and marketing to get TikTok used widely. Once they had widespread buy-in, China has the potential to increase its cultural influence, and it is already doing so effectively. TikTok illiteracy is still widespread. Every hour, thousands of people download TikTok, and the British government still permits the company's owners to locate their London headquarters. Because the desire for cheaper goods is valued more than the cost of freedom in our clown society, it only serves to highlight Britain's pitiful reliance on China for easy money. Despite all of the available information, TikTok usage is still rising exponentially as a result of government initiatives, media coverage, and endorsement from public figures. TikTok links are distributed everywhere you go, and since everyone is promoting and vying for the same 15 minutes of fame, you will eventually feel the need to check out what's going on. Because you might feel pressured to download the app if your friends are using it, celebrities and politicians are using it, and media outlets like the BBC are promoting it. You're interested in finding out what's being discussed. There isn't much of a backlash against TikTok because you need to feel that affinity with other people who share your interests. Everything is based on conformity. We are witnessing a mental decay. We are losing interest and in time for improving our lives as a result of the glut of entertainment options available. No time to focus on developing original thoughts. No concern for China's existential threat. We must stop consuming TikTok content. TikTok cannot be downloaded any longer. Before it's too late, we need to completely reject this application. If you'd like to keep updated with our latest content, subscribe to YTPioneers and click on the notification bell. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.